Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Foliage. In today's video we are going to be talking about a beautiful variety of Dieffenbachia. This is also called as the dumb cane. I'm sure you might have seen my other videos as well. The care requirements remains the same, but for people who are watching this video for the first time, I'll give you a quick info on the care tips of this plant, because this is a absolutely easy to grow plant. This plant can do well in less care as well. That is the best part. But because of the new plants coming up in the market, they have kind of lost their value, but they are so underrated, but they look absolutely beautiful. We all are so crazy about variegated plants, but we have forgotten about these old plants that used to once dominate our household. A lot of in my locality itself, a lot of people have Dieffenbachias because initially, when there were not much of hybrids and all the new varieties, these were like the very popular plants around, but of late they are kind of diminishing. A lot of people don't even get them. So I just wanted to share about this. You can see how beautiful the plant is. You can see that beautiful variegation, looks almost like a mosaic effect. The beautiful three-colored variegation. You have the darker one, you have the white, you have the light green, and looks absolutely beautiful. The care tips is very simple. All you have to do is just give it a loose, porous, well-draining soil mix. The soil mix that I tend to use is a mix of coco peat, garden soil, sand, and perlite. Perlite is optional, but I have a little bit of it and I tend to use it in all of my soil mix. Coco peat, because it retains a slight amount of moisture. They require a slight amount of moisture but not soggy wet soil. The garden soil is going to give the natural nutrients and minerals to the plant. So the sand is going to make the soil mix well draining, because we cannot afford to keep water pooled into the pot, otherwise that will lead to a root rot. So the water should pass through the drain hole. So you should also have a container that has a drain hole so that the excess water can drain out. So it's a very easy to grow plant. Talking about light, do not keep it in direct sunlight. The leaves will get burnt. You can see the amount of variegation. The variegated parts cannot participate in the process of photosynthesis, and they cannot protect itself. The green leaves can still handle early morning direct sunlight, but not the variegated ones. Apart from that, you cannot keep this plant in a low light condition, because this plant will not be able to produce food, because it has very limited greens on it. So we have to offer a good amount of indirect bright light. The more indirect bright light, the more variegation will show up on the plant. So ensure you're keeping it in a very bright spot. This plant can be kept indoor, but because it is a little bit toxic, that's why this plant is usually kept outdoor, or it is kept at a height, because the plant is toxic to humans as well as pets. The leaves are very toxic, even the stem. Even when you're doing a propagation, you need to have gloves, because the sap of this plant can irritate your skin, especially if you have sensitive skin. So keep this plant away from the reach of small children and pets. Talking about watering, whenever you see around 1 to 2 inches of the upper layer of soil is dry, go ahead and do a complete watering. These plants are not drought tolerant. The moment they are thirsty, they will start to bend the leaves. That indicates that they need water. Now, talking about pest issues, to be honest guys, growing Dieffenbachias for such a long time, I haven't seen any pest issues on this plant. At times you might happen to see scale insects, especially when the stem tends to get mature. Again, if there are scale insects in your garden, then it might attack, but ideally this plant is pest free, probably because of its toxic nature. I don't know, I'm not very sure, but luckily I haven't seen any insects on my Dieffenbachias. That's a good thing. Anyways, a good practice is to do a routine check. The propagation you might have already seen. I've made a couple of videos. I'll put the link in the description below. You can check it out. It is the same process for this as well. In fact, for all of the Dieffenbachias, aglonemas, it is the same process. They tend to work out very well. Just put them back into the soil after cutting it, and it will grow again. I will put up the link in the description below so you can have a better look of the process of propagation. Now, talking about temperature and humidity, humidity is not much of an issue. They will do well in average humidity as well. Anything above 50%, it's going to do quite well. And temperature, anywhere between 15 degrees Celsius up to 34-35 degrees Celsius, even 36 is absolutely okay. The plant will do quite well. As I said, it's a very low maintenance plant. You do not need to be worried, especially only if you have kids and pets at home. That is when you have to be a little bit careful of keeping it at a safe distance. But other than that, it's a super easy plant. Very low maintenance. I have so many of them, I don't even pay much attention to them, and they have been doing quite well. just leave them in indirect bright light, keep a watch on the watering, and that's all about it. So if you're looking out for a variegated plant and you do not have a very high budget, but you're looking out for a variegated plant, then this is one of the plants you can easily add in your collection. You'll find it in the local nursery in a lot of different varieties, so you can choose any one of them and they are going to kind of change the entire look of your garden. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.